We're moving in a new direction in America, in the world, where the voices of the unheard are finally coming to the forefront. You know, I'm a product of a, single parent home. I'm a Black and Japanese 25-year-old dude, and I don't know if I would have had these experiences of believing in music if it wasn't for El Sistema.
El Sistema USA is unique in that we're thinking about the whole child in music education. We think about not only high quality music, but also about the community aspect, about following students for multiple years, about social change, about the nucleo environment, making sure that students have a safe place to be after school, access, as well as intensity of programming. Together, these ingredients not only make a great music program, but they also create profound impact for students and communities.
El Sistema USA is the largest and only national organization to explicitly center equity and excellence in music education field today. We have 140 programs across North America with 1,500 plus teachers in these programs and directly impacting 20,000 youth.
Excellence and equity in music education means that every person, child, adult, they have access and the right to participate in any music education that they so wish to do, whether that is in a choir, taking private lessons, being part of an orchestra, behind a computer, mixing some really cool beats. And that's the role of these El Sistema-inspired programs.
Equity in music means, to me, creating aggressive access for students and families to have the choice of whether they want to make music possible in their lives. And by aggressive access, I mean not just the opening of the doors, but reaching out to our community members and seeing what they need to make it through that door.
Excellence is in the eye of the beholder, and young people come to the table fully artistic, fully excellent as they are, and it's our jobs as educators, as advocates and mentors to really cultivate that, to nurture that into however that manifests. That's excellence.
These large orchestras used to think that in order for them to make themselves relevant to the communities, they would just bring people into their world and tell them, oh, look at this is worth your while because we say it's beautiful. That model shifted a long time ago because now we have to understand that every community has its own voice. Every community has its own culture that needs to be celebrated. So when a program goes into a community, the best way they can do this is by understanding which is the culture that they're working with and how it relates to the music and the aesthetical canon that they're bringing to it.
The biggest inspiration for me about the El Sistema movement in the United States is the people. It's the administrators, it's the teachers, the students, parents, it's the community members, funders. It's everyone coming together to do something to fill a need that the communities we work with have asked for.
Having youth-inspired leadership at the core of what El Sistema USA is doing and what we are doing as a community in El Sistema is huge. Youth are the next generation, the next group of community advocates. They're the next leaders in politics, the next great musical artists. Shaping a world for young people without their voice and input is done in absolute error.
We didn't have a program for high schoolers. How could we make something that was meaningful for the high school students? And one of our program managers said, well, why don't we ask the students instead of trying to guess what we should do? And so we brought a number of the high school students together and asked them what we should do. And they wanted to create an honors ensemble, something where they could play harder music, something where they could be a part of the music selection process.
We were brainstorming of like things we'd want to do for this new group, and we just made up the idea of creating a new orchestra from like our previous members, and also recruiting new kids from like our schools, and that's how the honors ensemble was made.
Guadalupe has auditioned for and been accepted into the Chicago Musical Pathways Initiative. She's a member of the Midwest Young Artists. She's a founding member and one of the student leaders for our honors ensemble. She's an amazing oboe player and one of the glues of our student communities.
Ravinia was this big opportunity for me. I know if I just signed up for like my school band program with my parents, they would have said no, because they would have been like, oh, it's too expensive, we don't have the money for it. But Ravinia really it changed their mind in a way, because it's like we want kids to learn music and play instruments without having to pay anything. And that was just like what really pushed them to be supportive of my musical studies.
The biggest reason to support the program is the students that we serve. These are students that historically have been left out of music education programs or opportunities. And it's programs across the country that are creating equitable access to education. And El Sistema inspired programs through the convening of El Sistema USA are doing that for over 20,000 young musicians in this country.
El Sistema USA is a very large network of organizations across the country, and we all look to each other for support. We reach out at conferences, webinars, regional meetings, different ways that we're able to connect and learn from each other on best practices of what's happening across the field in the country. The Youth Ambassador Program is an amazing new component of El Sistema USA. It brings together youth from across the country from El Sistema inspired programs and provides an opportunity for leadership, for learning, and promoting the amazing work that is happening in everybody's communities.
I've subbed in groups around New York City, including the New York City Ballet and the Brooklyn Chamber Orchestra. Currently, I'm a sub on Broadway for the show Wicked. El Sistema has helped me in my personal life and being a musician by showing me that I could make playing the trombone a professional career. But it has also shown me that there's a world of possibilities. It really opens this new chapter each year. You're in the program to create new stories and a new life. Yeah.